I never imagined a homeowners association could get involved in something as ridiculous as stealing electricity. Water disputes, sure. Fence height drama, absolutely. But siphoning solar power, that was a new one. Yet that's exactly what happened the day Karen, yes, that kind of Karen, decided my roof panels existed for her personal convenience. My name's Ethan, and I live in a quiet Arizona subdivision where the heat is unforgiving and the wah is even worse. I had my home fitted with a full solar array, a big one, 48 panels, 2 battery banks, and a smart inverter system I built myself with the help of my electrical engineering background. My home practically powered itself, and most months I even sold electricity back to the grid. But apparently, the sun wasn't the only thing powering my house. Someone else was tapping in. I first noticed the issue in July, one of the hottest months. My monitoring app sent me a notification at 2 a.m., sudden power draw detected. At first, I thought it was the AC or maybe the pool pump glitching. But then it happened again the next night. And the next. By night 4, the numbers didn't lie. Someone was pulling nearly 11 kilowatt-hours between midnight and 3 a.m. That's way too much for anything normal. So I decided to stay awake and find the culprit. And that's when I heard it, the faint whirring click of a charging cable locking into place. I stepped outside with a flashlight, and there she was. Karen, my next-door neighbor, self-appointed, WA compliance queen, mother of 2 overweight Pomeranians, and owner of a silver Tesla Model X, had run a bright orange extension cord from my utility panel directly to her car. She didn't even try to hide it. She waved at me casually. "Oh, Ethan, good, you're awake. My car was on low battery. Your solar setup is so green and generous. The WA encourages resource sharing, you know." Resource sharing, I nearly choked. "That's my power," I said, pointing at the cord. "And you have plenty," she said, shrugging. "Plus, the neighborhood grid benefits when EV owners stay charged. You wouldn't want to be the one holding back community progress." Community progress. She really said that. I unplugged the cord without another word. Her Tesla beeped in protest. She stomped up to me, hands on hips. "You can't do that. I'm on the WA board. And this is theft," I replied. "You're being dramatic. It's just a few volts." It was closer to $20 of electricity per night, but sure, a few volts. She stormed off, yelling that she'd bring this up at the next board meeting. I brought it up first. Or tried to. The WA meeting from hell. The next Wednesday, I attended the WA meeting in the clubhouse. Karen sat at the front with 2 other board members who usually nodded at whatever nonsense she proposed. The room smelled like bad coffee and overly perfumed paperwork. When the open concerns portion started, I raised my hand. "Someone has been stealing electricity from my solar setup." Karen gasped loudly. "Are you accusing a neighbor, Ethan?" "That's inappropriate." "I'm accusing you," I said, staring straight at her. The room fell silent except for the buzzing fluorescent lights. Karen slammed her folder shut. "That is a false, defamatory statement. I was merely borrowing, with implied permission, I might add." "No, you weren't," I said. "And I have monitoring logs." She sneered. "Solar energy isn't owned. It's shared by nature. You can't claim exclusive rights to sunlight." That was the dumbest legal take I've ever heard. But the board members nodded like it was profound. Then Karen suggested something insane. "Greater than, I propose we adopt a neighborhood solar sharing policy. Residents with EVs should have access to surplus energy from homes with solar arrays." They voted yes before I could even stand up. It wasn't legally enforceable, of course, but they didn't care. They used the HOA's Community Cooperation Clause, a vague rule Karen weaponized whenever she wanted. I left the meeting furious. That night, I added a lockbox and a heavy metal cover over my panel. 2 nights later, the cover was cut clean off. That's when I decided it was time to catch her in 4K. The setup. If Karen wanted power, she was about to get it, just not the way she expected. My electrical system had a feature she didn't know about. Overvoltage mode. It's normally used to purge excess power when the batteries are full and the grid export limit is reached. Instead of letting panels overheat, the inverter pushes the voltage slightly above normal until it stabilizes. It doesn't damage anything if you're using the right equipment. But if you're using a cheap $9 extension cord from a bargain bin, well, let's just say it's not recommended. I installed 2 new 4K solar cameras, a motion-activated spotlight, a tamper alarm, and a hidden mini camera in the panel door. Then I waited. Midnight, 1 a.m., 1:43 a.m. The panel alarm pinged my phone. Showtime. I watched from my upstairs window as Karen tiptoed across my yard with wire cutters and the same orange extension cord. She popped the panel door, bypassed the lock I installed 2 days earlier, and plugged herself in like she was filling a cup of sugar. I waited exactly 7 minutes, long enough for her Tesla to start drawing maximum amperage. Then I activated System Mode, Purge. Inside the panel, my inverter quietly shifted into high output stabilization. The voltage increased by 9%. Not dangerous for a real EV charger, but an extension cord. The cord started buzzing, then humming, then glowing faintly red. Karen frowned, squinting at her Tesla screen. Then, poof, sparks shot from the cord, the outlet, and the cut ends she'd left on the grass. Her Tesla screeched an alert. The extension cord snapped like a firecracker. Karen screamed loud enough to wake the neighborhood. She stumbled backward, fell onto her butt, and crab walked toward her driveway, yelling. The solar panels are attacking me. And I caught every second on video. All angles, full audio, perfect lighting, evidence gold, .. The fallout. I expected Karen to come yelling to my door. Instead, she did something worse. She called the police. At 3 a.m., 2 officers knocked, apologetic but obligated. "Sir, your neighbor claims you set up an electric trap," one said. I activated the TV screen on the wall, streaming my camera system. "Watch this," I said. They watched the whole 10-minute clip. By the time it was done, one officer was rubbing his forehead, trying not to laugh. "So she illegally tapped into your panel," he said. "Multiple times." "Correct. And destroyed your property." "Yes. And wants to press charges for getting shocked by her own extension cord." "Looks that way." The second officer shook his head. "Sir, you're the victim here, not her." They thanked me for cooperating and left to speak with Karen, who could be heard shrieking from her porch. He weaponized sunlight. Sunlight. .. WA retribution. The next day, I emailed the entire WA board with attached video proof, police case number, and a notarized statement. Karen scheduled an emergency board meeting that evening. When I arrived, she looked like she hadn't slept since the Bronze Age. She started immediately. "Ethan has created a hazardous electrical environment that violates our community standards." I interrupted. "And you committed theft." The room murmured. I projected the video onto the clubhouse wall. For 5 minutes, everyone watched Karen cut my lock, break into my panel, plug in her Tesla, and get fireworks-level karma. The board members just stared. Even her allies didn't defend her. "Karen," the treasurer said slowly, "that's illegal." Karen's lip trembled. "You don't understand. His inverter attacked me." "You stole electricity," I replied calmly. "And vandalized my equipment." "And trespassed," another board member added. "And violated at least 4 WA bylaws," someone else said. "And scared the Johnson's cat," a voice from the back added helpfully. Karen went bright red. In the end, the board voted on disciplinary action. Immediate removal of Karen from the WA board. $4,000 fine for vandalism and power theft. Requirement to pay for all repairs. Zero tolerance order for further infractions. Karen started crying, but the board moved to the next agenda item without missing a beat. The final revenge. A week later, I posted the video online. Not out of spite, but to warn other solar homeowners about energy theft. It went viral anyway. Within 3 days, Karen's meltdown, titled, "Tesla Karen Gets Zapped Stealing Solar Power," hit 3.2 million views. The comments were brutal. "Imagine stealing sunshine." The Sun said, "Not today. Her Tesla has more entitlement than battery." Karen tried threatening legal action for emotional distress. My lawyer responded with a simple email. Greater than, "Cease your harassment. My client will countersway with video evidence." She went quiet after that. Eventually, Karen put her house up for sale. Rumor says she moved to a condo where the HOA doesn't allow EV chargers at all. Poetic justice. Epilogue. Voltage restored. Life returned to normal. No more nighttime surges. No more cords sneaking across my lawn. No more HOA solar sharing proposals. In fact, with Karen gone, the HOA actually improved. The new board apologized to me and asked if I'd be willing to help them update the electrical safety policies. I agreed, on one condition. No more sharing solar power without written permission. They laughed and said absolutely. Now my solar system hums peacefully 24/7. I still have the video, though. I keep it saved on 3 hard drives. Just in case I need to remind anyone. Steal my sunlight, and you're gonna get burned.